Hello, everyone. What is going on? James here, and today I'm here with Bennings.
Hmm.
And as you can see by the title, we will be discussing why Peacemaker is amazing. George has basically just given himself an 100-year ban from the podcast. You mean crap, not amazing? No, George. And Aaron's put hello. So yeah, but first we are going to do a quick segment. Cheeky job slobs. So I've got a job slob, and it is: would you rather be a clone troop? Yeah, 150-year ban exactly. Would you rather be a clone trooper or like a caveman soldier? So like a futuristic soldier, but let's say it's a clone trooper, or I don't know, a Spartan from 300.
Um, I. Oh, okay.
Because
I
they
guess.
only have like half a life, clone troopers. So
Yeah, but it's also in a more futuristic time, and they outlived the Jedi, so.
yeah, true. But at the same
That.
time, they are brainwashed with that chip. But the
Yeah.
chips do wear off eventually, don't they? So
Oh, did it? Oh, I don't know.
in a show, I'm not going to say which show, but basically they.
Bad Batch. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so in the Bad Batch, chips do wear off on some of the clone troopers. So
Oh, fair. I suppose they did that for writing purposes, so the characters wouldn't be like brainwashed and likable, I guess.
well, in the Bad Batch, because the Bad Batch themselves are defective clone troopers, so the chips don't work properly.
Yeah, fair. I don't really know much about the Spartan army. I guess it sounds like one of those things where they all kind of died. So.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. Probably Clone Trooper, yeah, just because then you'd also get to be in the Star Wars galaxy and
True, yeah, that'd be absolute bants.
have a drink with
Oh,
Boss Nass, and
yeah, beers
I'd
with
rather
Boss
be a
Nass.
Spartan and be in them all. Oh,
Yeah, I'd rather be a Spartan and be in them orgies where they mysteriously left out all the women. I can see bizarre comments George is posting, and they're not good.
are they ever? Are they?
They're not that bad. Yeah, Aaron, just DM me what the comments are. I'm a bit worried what George is typing in there on the hidden comments, or just screenshot it. But yeah, anyway. So let's get into some cheeky Peacemaker banter. So honestly, I remember we were at the pub, Ben, and you were saying to me, I think you should give Peacemaker a go. It's a decent show. And then I was like, I
Yeah,
don't know. It just seems gimmicky. DC don't usually do, for the most part, DC doesn't really seem that good when it comes to their films, the DCCU, from what I've heard. So I thought Peacemaker was just going to be a bag of arse and copy Marvel with their shows. But you know what it did? It didn't copy Marvel. It was 10 times better than anything Marvel have put out when it comes to TV shows. I absolutely loved it. The intro just spoke wonders to me. Like, I thought this is my sort of show. The characters jumping around and dancing around and being like, "Do you really want to taste it?" And all these characters just dancing. It was really well done as well, well
I,
choreographed.
well, to be fair, I recommend it because obviously James Gunn, who did the Suicide Squad, just one of the best working directors out there when it comes to like comic book stuff because he's just got such a fierce passion for those kind of, he's making a comic book movie and he knows that, it's like Joel Schumacher or Tim Burton. He just goes for that kind of approach. And he started writing this show as like a little fun thing to do in the pandemic. And then he talked to Warner Bros. About it and they were like, yeah, let's do it. Let's put like tens of millions of dollars into it. And it ended up being a really, a fun, a fun superhero show kind of it was I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, fair dues. I sent the jazzy shot to James. The reason you fell asleep, George, is because you don't do anything all day. That's why you fell asleep. So it wasn't because of Peacemaker, it was because you did nothing and then you just went to sleep. If you're grafting like a madman out there in the world, you are going to feel tired. But if you're doing nothing, you're going to feel tired as well, and not appreciate the free time. So,
Yeah, And I thought you'd appreciate it because it's a right-wing superhero who combats all the assumed stereotypes of right-wing people.
Yeah. Well, Peacemaker was sort of brainwashed. I think he's just a conservative guy. He's not a right-wing guy anymore. His dad's far right. He's not even right-wing. He's just far right. But I think Peacemaker's just a conservative dude.
Yeah, isn't
Because
that on the right anyway? Or...
Conservative doesn't mean right-wing. It just means you're a conservative. It's like liberal doesn't mean you're left-wing. It means... That's the way I determine things anyway. Like, liberal is liberal. It doesn't mean you're like left. You're straight up left wing. You know.
Yeah, but then, yeah. So basically, yeah. So like a conservative character who just like kills racists and like, yeah, you can have good old values without being like bigots and want to brainwash the world, that kind of thing. You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was fun. Like that's the thing James Gunn is good at, where like he'll do the subversive characters and make them really lovable and stuff. It's one of his strong suits.
I hear Superman openly bays the Oldshire. Where do you get this stuff? Google. Superman's an alien. He has a poop fetish. That was some of the funniest shit ever.
It's like Wonder Woman. She was eye fucking me from across the room.
Yeah. Legendary. But yeah, so let's get into the first episode. So I do feel a bit bad for Peacemaker in the first episode, to be honest, because his dad has a go at him. He's a massive twat, and the only thing they bonded about was like people being shot dead. Because they were going on about how they had a moment of bonding when he was like, there was a guy there who was scared of rats. He was scared to death of rats, and there was this girl who controlled rats, and the dad was laughing his arse off, and then he said, "This isn't the guy who shot you, is it?" And then he just didn't say anything. He was like, everything's classified. And then his dad started just saying loads of nasty, mean things to him. The only decent thing his dad does for him, well, it's not even a decent thing in the long run. He gives him the helmet, which saves his life at the end of the episode, the Activate Sonic Boom helmet. But it's just to keep track of Peacemaker. That's all it was for. It wasn't for his safety. So.
Yeah. It's an interesting one, yeah.
But yeah, I really like the lady going absolutely berserk and trying to kill John Cena. That was pretty banterous. You're like, how the hell has she got all the superpowers and all this jazz? And you think to yourself, shit, he's gonna get seriously hurt or something. But I guess it's the first episode, so I'll be safe. But how does he get out of it? And obviously activates the sonic boom, and she gets destroyed. Which was cool. And you think shit, and it's realistic. Like, the thing is, the police get called, and the whole operation's like, shit, what's going on? All the team who were taking on Project Butterfly. I like Adebayo's really cool as well, because she's like the only person out of the whole squad who doesn't want to who isn't happy with going around killing people. Yeah. I know the whole of them all the squad sort of say, oh, well, we don't really like killing people. We're trying to do this for greater good. But she genuinely doesn't want to do this. She's just doing it for extra money. And her mum's like, you're very talented. Do you want a job? And you feel for her because she's got a girlfriend and she's got those dogs. You don't want them to, you don't want Adebayo to die and them to not hear about it, because the rest of them don't really have families. You don't hear from those families anyway, apart from Cena, and his family is just his dad, who's an absolute prick. So,
yeah. No, that's the thing, and it's the twist with her being Amanda Waller's daughter was quite cool, especially because they're leading into an Amanda Waller series, which
oh no,
but I think she's, although I don't like how she's been treated in the first two movies, Suicide Squad movies. Well, the first one she was alright, the second one kind of took a hit. Amanda Waller is one of the best DC characters ever made, hands down. Oh yeah.
She just seemed like she seemed like a good person to have a go at everyone and be a bit of a tit on screen, but I didn't think she was deeper than that.
No, she is, yeah. And the problem is neither of the movies have really delved into it, and I think that's what the show is probably going to do. The one that's focusing on Waller.
What's good about a character then in the comics?
Well, in the comics, it's quite impressive. I suppose from a representation standpoint, it had this basically big boned black lady as this morally grey character who could he could be both who could both help and hinder the Suicide Squad. She had tons of depth. She had her own kind of personal stuff going on, and it was just, I don't know, it just made it more. It made the series more. The comics that James Gunn based the movie and stuff off of. She was the she was kind of the anchor of the series, really. So yeah,
That's cool. Hopefully they delve deep in the series then.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. But yeah, great episode. Really enjoyed the first one. Second one, the escape sequence was really cool. How Peacemaker just isn't this industry. If this was a Marvel show, right, what would have happened is they would have just gone pop, and then they would have escaped. Someone would
yeah,
have pulled a portal out their arse. Doctor Strange would go, "I'm here to help you," and then the
exactly.
main
Yeah,
character would just jump into his arse and go into another world. But in this, it's like realistic, like Peacemaker. While he's a super soldier and a genius and a master killer, um, not a genius academically, but or even common sense, but a
yeah,
genius in the military sense. He really struggles to get out of the building, and it's
mm,
only by the the skin on his teeth that he gets out. But even then, like the police surround him, and then they what's the name? Harcourt shoots the police. So and
yeah.
then they escape. What's George put? Left means lut waffle.
Luftwaffe. Isn't that the Nazi thing? Or...
Oh, for oh.
yeah.
Good thing Peacemaker was one with the police. I don't know what that means. I don't know what you're going on about there, George.
Yeah.
But yeah, escape sequence was cool. What's the name? I really liked the bit where Peacemaker, when we talking about the lesbians, I talked about them before, George. I said about how Adebayo is brilliant. How
A lot
she's a
of pride
brilliant
flags
character.
there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the bit where he goes in and no, keep the conversation on, Ben. What are you doing?
Oh, my
The
family's
more,
trying to talk to me.
the more, the merrier. Get everyone in here.
Nah.
But anyway, yeah, I like when Peacemaker goes in and he's like talking to that one woman about all the songs, and her husband's like, "For God's sake, you're gonna get on with him!" And then they're getting in an argument, and Peacemaker's just here, like, it's cool how Peacemaker isn't asking for her, like he's not trying to pull moves on her or anything. He's just having a laugh with her and just being his old crazy self.
Yeah.
And the bloke is really annoyed about it. Then Peacemaker legs it, somehow survives, like jumping off high places and hitting himself really hard when he hits the
Yeah.
ground. And yeah, Harcourt saves him. I feel like I like how all the characters bounce off each other as well. I like how Cena just has a go at everyone and is daft all the time. Diebeard gets annoyed at Cena's banter. What's his name? The dude in charge who's really serious. You know, the dude who's a butterfly all along with the black
Oh
hair.
yeah.
I
Yeah. I
can't
can't
remember
remember.
his name.
But
He was brilliant though. He was really good. I liked how Harcourt was just serious and aggro, and she fucks people up in the pub. Very cool, and basically just rejects John Cena straight away at the start. Adebayo's fun and banterous, and I like when what's his name joins. Vigilante. He's quite funny. He's like iDubbbz basically.
Oh, Vigilante's great. Yeah, I love him.
Yeah.
Because he's such a departure from the version in the comics. He's just like a straight faced hero. He's basically a mix between Daredevil and Punisher. Like it's just
Yeah.
that kind of vibe. Like someone who's like he's a lawyer by day and vigilante by night, but he also kills people. So it's a bit more like it's a mix of those two. But
But in
the
this
show,
one, he's a burger flipper by day and
yeah,
vigilante by day or night.
I appreciate because he looks like the comic designer. Not too fair, I care more about designs than characterizations half the time anyway. And then, well, not in all cases, but like it's a good costume. And then B, it's just like a fun interpretation where like the comic version wouldn't have worked in this kind of show. It just wouldn't have worked. Like it's a very comedic and kind of subversive take on those characters.
Yeah. I found it quite funny that Cena's dad got done for the crime. That was pretty hilarious. And his back and forth with the police was just shows that he's a total prick. But I like how they're just cool, calm, and collected, and not letting his bullshit bother them. I was really good that the lady got the small lady, the two. I can't remember her name, but I was really gutted that she got killed by the butterflies. She didn't really make much of a good villain as well, to be honest.
Wow. Yeah.
It's not our fault, but I found a way better as being a police officer instead of a butterfly. But I suppose it's just a unique way. It's like what Doctor Who do with humans. You know, they make the alien somehow like take over the human, and then or like take human form, and then they get to play the villain. So I bet it was fun from playing the villain. But yeah, episode 2 was good fun. Really enjoyed it. Episode 3 is pretty. It's pretty like, you know, mad that they still don't trust John Cena at this point, and they don't want to tell him about what butterflies actually are. But we're positioned in John Cena's POV because like we don't know what the butterflies are. We're asking all the questions. It feels like with a lot of stuff, a lot of shows, you're like sort of showing everything that all the other characters know, and then the main character, we're waiting for them to find out, and we see how they react. But instead, we're with that main character in this one, which I like. We're with John Cena. You know, we're experiencing things as he is.
Yeah.
But yeah. Cena as well, like coming a bit far as a character, like Chris Peacemaker. How it is pretty like mad that you just see him like hesitate, you know, and we're like seeing this change of rooting for him because he doesn't want to just shoot kids in the face because the government tell him to. Even though these kids aren't kids anymore, they're dead. They're basically just aliens. But that's besides the point. Cena didn't even know that. Cena didn't know that. But obviously the geezer with the black hair is like, shoot now. And then Vigilante's just like, I got it. And Cena's like, no, I'm not doing it. And then the little judo master comes out, which is absolute bancy. He's pretty cool. The fighting, the throwing down. Then they get kidnapped. And you're like, shit. You know.
Yeah. It's because that's another example of a character they're taken from like that no one really knew about, and then just turned it into a great comedic relief.
Exactly, yeah. He was quite funny, and Cena and Vigilante being kidnapped was pretty funny as well. And Cena's back and forth with the judo master, that was good banter. I just can't believe Cena did not care at all about Vigilante getting his balls electrocuted and getting half his toe, getting his toe sliced into a bit. I thought, damn, he does not care. He's giving into this operation, you know.
Yeah.
But I guess it makes sense, you know, because at the end of the day... Oh, yeah, and Adebayo gets some character development because she doesn't shoot... Well, she hesitates to shoot that geezer, and then Harcourt says to her, like, mate, you basically made that last minute of his life horrendous, you know, because, like, she sort of... He's trying to say, I've got a family that loves me, please, 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 and Adebayo's like... And he might have been thinking in his head, oh, she'll spare me, but then obviously Harcourt just shoots him. So
yeah,
rip. But yeah. But yeah, it was pretty crazy that the geezer in charge of the whole operation like survived that explosion. But obviously it's because he's a butterfly; they can take more punishment than regular humans. But yeah, I mean, I ain't really got much else to say about this episode. I suppose it ended really interestingly with a decent cliffhanger because they get the map. You think, oh, okay, operation's over now. They killed the butterflies they need to kill, even though Cena's got the one in the jar and has kept it. They've done it, but no, there's like millions of butterflies all over the world on the map. So that adds a lot of tension for the next episode. Now, you got anything else to say about episode 3 or?
Nah, to be honest, I don't really remember like specific. Well, because obviously I watched it when it came out.
5 months ago then, or a bit longer.
Yeah, pretty much every time an episode came out. Yeah.
Jeez. But yeah, so on to episode 4. I like how Cena's dad is just tearing into him. Cena compares himself to a chode in it when they're talking to each other back and forth in the prison. And it's crazy how much of a next level lunatic true friend Vigilante is, because he's just like, oh, I'll go into prison and kill your dad. That's brilliant. Well, Adebayo manipulates him into doing it, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, Cena's dad, you just keep thinking, damn, you do feel bad for Cena because a part of you thinks, well, Cena's an absolute idiot for killing people and all this crap and sucking up to the government and all this rubbish when they're trying to cover things up. But at the same time, you feel awful for him because the only person he's got in his life is his dad, and he keeps trying to say, "Oh, my dad's only joking, my dad's only joking," but his dad's like a genuinely just awful geezer.
Yeah. But,
Also, the judo master escapes, and before that, like Economos beat the absolute shit out of him. I thought he killed him, to be honest. I thought, oh shit, that's the end of judo master. And he's like, don't fucking mess with what's his name, John Economos. So yeah. There's a montage, but basically, judo master escapes, fights Cena, and he's like, the butterflies aren't what you think, and then he gets shot and goes down again. You think, is this guy alive or dead? And there's a long montage at the end of this one as well, where it just shows everyone being fed up and depressed and really alone. So I guess it just shows that this CIA lifestyle isn't really that good. They glamorize it in the films, but all of them are just pretty down. All Cena has in his life really was Eagerly and that butterfly that's in the jar. That was it, So
I did like the.
I think I forgot to say earlier. What did I say for the job slobs? What I go for? I go for a clone trooper. I'm pretty sure I said it. I'm not sure, but I'd be a clone trooper if I had the choice. Because all the futuristic shit. Better quality of life, more healthy food, all that jazz. So in episode 5, it was quite funny with the PowerPoint presentations because you believe the old shite. That was a legendary scene. I do forget that this is only 8 episodes as well because it's such a dope, brilliant show. I keep thinking it goes on longer.
So it's longer than the Disney Plus shows, but at the same time, it's more enjoyable.
Yeah, easier to watch as well.
For me, it was just because this one actually felt more like a TV show, and that it didn't feel like a 6-hour movie that they cut together weirdly,
Yeah. But you see Cena down and quite gutted at the start of the episode. I suppose, the main people in his life, as I say, are Eagerly, and I suppose Vigilante in a small sense. But that he's treating more of a joke, really. The scene with the emojis was quite funny because I swear he just kept putting an Atlantis emoji and he didn't realise what it meant and he just kept spamming Atlantis. Well, not spamming it, but I think Vigilante just puts Atlantis emojis for everything, or Poseidon emojis, or Aquaman. Can't remember. But yeah. Yeah, I liked at the end of this episode as well how Adebayo finds out about the butterflies. Like she's messing around with Cena's X-ray helmet, and she's like, "Oh, this is cool." And then the geezer with the black hair just legs it at her, and you think, "Shit, she's dead. She's done for. She's not athletic. She's not really that military tough. She's gonna get her ass killed." But thankfully, he's like, "Nah, I'm a good guy. Don't worry about this. I want to stop the butterflies because the other butterflies want world domination, which is not good." I think in this episode as well, one of his mates, the guy in charge with the black hair, his mates from Vietnam or something or whatever, he tried to get in charge of the police and stop Cena's dad from being let free, which was. But you respect how those police officers still try and help and do the right thing, Even if Cena's dad's a mean guy, they're still trying to do the right thing and help, which is really cool. So, Sorry, just checking a few things from my end. I just need to mute my mic. But yeah, anyway, so episode 5, you know, I was a bit skeptical on the X-ray helmet first because it felt like a bit of a cop out. Like Cena can just see all the butterflies really easily and just kill everyone. It's not a shocker who's a butterfly anymore. There's no more tension. But then I thought it looked cool for the very end, you know, which was interesting. Yeah, and with the guy in charge of the operation, it's cool to show that not all the butterflies are, you know, evil and whatever. Some of them are trying to like give humans the free choice to make mistakes, you know.
Which is a very James Gunn thing to do, you know.
Yeah, not every single butterfly is a massive piece of shit. It was pretty annoying that Adebayo stabbed Peacemaker in the back, but she like owned up to it in the end, which was cool. So yeah. Episode 7 was quite sad because at the start you see a flashback with Peacemaker, which was him killing his... Well, not really him killing his brother. It was more so his dad killing his brother, really, because he was getting him to fight for money, which was just absolutely stupid and ridiculous. It just shows that he's just an absolute buffoon, really, and a horrible man, and tries to blame Cena for his brother's death, which is just, just really sad. Shows that he's just had a fucked up shite life. So,
And then, no, I'm trying to remember if the bit of Adebayo finding out her mum when that comes in, but I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, the White Dragon coming after Peacemaker made it more intense because we have a proper figurehead as a villain rather than just like aliens who who just take over humans. So we've got a proper villain, and he seems like quite the threat really because he seems like a bit like Iron Man. Like it's hard to destroy him with his suits, and you got all those lunatic white supremacists running around with him as well. Which they're just lunatics. It was quite an intense, fun scene, like you know, and Vigilante blowing himself up. So and then he's trying to escape in the Mondeo, and everything's really really tense, and they're all throwing down. And Cena killing his dad was pretty cool as well because his dad's just a horrible man.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. To be fair, I thought it'd be more of he'd be in the last bit, but they kind of
Yeah, I mean he's still got the illusions, so you know his dad will probably still show up as an illusion.
Yeah, probably do the season 2 thing like Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones, who's that?
The MCU, the Marvel Netflix show with David, which is really good. At least the first season is.
But yeah, and now on to episode 8. I thought it was an amazing, fun conclusion. Great absolute banter. I like how Peacemaker was given, because it's his show, he was given the choice, the ultimatum. Does he, like, you know, does he let the butterflies take over and bring world peace, quote unquote, or does he let humans make their own choice? And at first, you know, you think, what is Peacemaker going to do? Because he's a bit of a wild card. He can just sort of do anything, really. But, you know, he's going to make the right decision. There's a season 2. We're not going to have butterflies taking over the world. It was really intense as well. You think Harcourt nearly dies and she nearly has a butterfly going in her mouth, but then Adebayo saves her. Dye Beard has his scene where he goes on about why he dyes his beard and all that jazz. Peacemaker just getting to make the final choice as well is really cool. I didn't like the police being the villains, though. I didn't find them very convincing. I think they should have had, you know, the tall guy with the grey hair who was trying to keep Peacemaker's dad in prison. I thought he would have been he would have been better in their places because he was more of an arsehole. You know, he was a pretty nasty guy in the show.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I guess it's just... Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to say.
But yeah, I really liked it, really enjoyed it. Legendary Alcina waited for Harcourt for like weeks after she woke up out of the coma or whatever it was. Great fun show. Really enjoyed it. 9.5 out of 10. Great bands.
Yeah,
Loved
it's
it.
good.
What would you give it, and what do you think of the show overall?
Ooh, honestly, I think its goal was to do like a really fun and bombastic and kind of at times a bit cringy with some of the jokes, but like that's just kind of James Gunn's repertoire, like hit and miss. Um, that kind of like a subversive like series about a character that people had never heard of. Really, like even like a lot of DC comic readers had forgotten about it because it was he was from a company called Charlton Comics who got absorbed by DC, and they never really did. They kind of used him sometimes, so it was an old character that James Gunn had clearly, picked out of a hat, and I think it was really good. And like I said, I enjoyed it more than half the fucking. Well, I say half, probably like any of the Disney Plus Marvel shows, just because it actually felt like a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think probably like a 9 out of 10 for me. I think.
Fair dues. One of my supervisors was telling me that I'd absolutely love The Boys. Have you watched that?
No, I've had it recommended to me a lot. I think it's a similar thing where it does
To Peacemaker.
Yeah, we have like more edgier superheroes like swear and stuff and kind of but I mean, and supposedly makes fun of the superhero genre, like, but I don't know. Yeah, I've not seen it. I probably should at some point, but yeah.
Well, now on to legit or a bit. I'll give you my legit or a bit. So this is mine. I once came back off holiday. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that one. No. What other ones are there? Trying to think of a decent one. Oh man, I'm really struggling. I had some legit bits wrote down, but I just can't think of anything. All right then, here we go. So, I once went to hype myself up for Thai boxing once. So basically, what happened was I was really, really ill at Thai boxing in like 2016, and I went to the toilet and I just threw up. People rarely use these toilets, to be honest. No one really ever came in there, and I was just so gassed out. But I just had way too much pride to quit and leave the session. So I just sort of walked up to like the door and checked if anyone was like coming in, just really quick. And I just looked in the mirror and just went, like that, just sort of make myself laugh a bit and like take my mind off of it and just get back out there and hype myself up, So it was partly hyping myself up, but it was partly just to make myself laugh, to be honest. So,
yeah,
to take my mind off of it.
I think I've heard all I need to hear. Based on how when I say uneventful, based on how quaint it was and how short, how it's not a. I'd say it's probably legit based on the fact that it doesn't seems almost too uneventful to be a lie.
Yes, it was all made up, Ben. Yeah, it was a bit. Basically, I did like heave quite a bit at a Thai boxing session once in the tours, but I didn't go to like hype myself up. I've actually been sick twice at Thai boxing though. I was sick in a bin once, and then I just randomly just threw up. I think it was because I'd eaten loads before the session.
Yeah.
So, which isn't very good.
No.
Yeah. But there you go. So, bloody hell, this is one of the shortest ones in a while. I think the only one shorter than this. Damn, I can't even remember. I think the ASMR podcast I did was dead short. Might have been. But yeah, anyway, cheers for showing up, Ben. You've been on 3 sessions in a row, grafting them all out. Do you feel all right, or are you feeling worn out?
I need a week of just eating well and not drinking, I think.
Yeah. Have you got any days off next week, or are you back to work tomorrow then?
I haven't got any days off, but I'm doing so next Saturday.
Oh, nice, fair dues, cool. Are you going to keep drinking on that thing you're doing?
Yes, purely because. But yeah, it won't be a lot because the place it's at is very expensive. Well, not very expensive.
Oh, okay.
It's it's like where a drink costs a certain amount. You don't want to overdo it, I guess.
Fair dues.
Yeah.
But yeah, cheers for coming on. I haven't actually told many people this apart from Aaron, but after the session yesterday, I felt absolutely amazing. After you left, I finished the so basically I had 4 Abbott's Ale, or obviously they're 5%, and after the third one I thought I'm gonna have a fourth one, man, because they go down so easy. Whenever I have like lagers, I sort of get to a point where like I know, all right, I've had enough now, I can't drink anymore. But with ales, you can just keep getting them down you. They just go down really easy, most of them. So I felt amazing. Then I came home, said good night, went to bed, and then I got out of bed and I felt, oh shit. And I just felt really sick. Went to the toilet, was throwing up, but it wasn't like normal sick. It was like small bits were coming out at a time. Just small bits. It wasn't like proper vomit, sadly, which was annoying. So I was just there for ages and ages and ages. It was horrible. Till like I don't know. I didn't even want to check what time it was, but it was for ages. It was probably. It wasn't the most I'd been sick, but it was the most ill I'd ever felt. And then I kept trying to go back to sleep. Then I needed to be sick again. Then I went back to sleep. Then I needed to be sick again. And then in the morning, I felt horrendous. Every time I moved, I felt like I was going to be sick. And I went and basically my family went out shopping to this place quite fairly far away. So I was just home alone. I was in agony. And went downstairs, tried to lie down, needed to be sick, went upstairs, was just sick for like ages and ages. Then went down, recovered a bit, watched some Callum's Corner, calmed the nerves, and I gradually felt better. So, yeah, I think the lesson is learned, just stick to 3 ales. I shouldn't have 4 or 5% pint ales.
That's crazy. So, I didn't think you'd be like thrown up after just 4. Damn.
Yeah, but they are 5% and they're pint form.
I suppose, yeah.
The last time I had, the most I've had in pint form was 5 Stellas, and that was 4.5. But that was in a short amount of time. That was over, and that was when my drinking game was at its best. That was, I think we started at 6, and in 3 hours I had 5 Stellas, which are 4.5%. And with that session, it was. I think I stopped drinking at like 10. So that was 4 over 3.5 hours. I actually think that is a decent amount, to be fair. But it wasn't like I didn't feel after I had the 4th one. I didn't feel sick for ages. When we got home, I started feeling like, oh man,
It's an interesting end to the podcast, but it's a good story.
Yeah. As I say, it wasn't even the most I've been sick. The most I've been sick was when I didn't have any breakfast and I drank like 3 Stellas in an hour. And I felt amazing. Then this was when my drinking game wasn't. It isn't as now it's standard. Back then it was sort of just like this was mid 2018, and I just sort of thought I'm just going to keep drinking, and got home and I was just sick for not really that long. My head hurt and I felt sick, but it wasn't anything compared to this. But yeah, as I say, lesson learned. Just stick to 3 pints when it comes to ales. So because it's so easy to go over your limit with ales because they just go down so easy. That's the thing.
Yeah, crazy.
But I guess we can nicely wrap that one up there. Anything else you got to say, Ben, or anything you want to leave off with?
No, probably not.
Goodbye to Ben. Well, there we go. That's it. No. I guess the next review, the next podcast will hopefully be next Sunday when we review Kenobi. So that should be decent banter. That's all I got to say, really. So Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I need to say this more often. I need to say this about you, Ben and George. Not you, Ben and George. You, Liam and George. Subscribe to Xanderfist, and when Liam's here, obviously I'll say subscribe to the gaming channel.
Probably more so, yeah, Liam, because I don't really upload anything, but
yeah, but it's it's important to get people's socials out there. I mean, I could recommend people your Instagram, but it's good banter. But there's too many pictures of me staring at food on there for the banter. So, yeah, a lot of big dick energy on Ben's Instagram. So, especially when I'm photoed on there. But, yeah, we'll leave that one there. Subscribe to Xanderfist and yes, check out ALP. Actually, no, it's better to say check shit out because I don't like being one of these like and subscribe people because I know when people go about. Yeah, but I think it's just an urban myth, to be honest, because they say asking people to like and subscribe means they're going to like and subscribe more. That's only like drone type people. I don't want that to be my audience. I'd rather them like if they genuinely like it rather than just liking for the sake of it. Or it's people who love your content so much that they'll like it anyway just for it to get supported and boosted in the algorithm. So, yeah. Enough ramble from me. So yeah, have a good one, everyone. Take care. Peace out. Laters. Do you really want to taste it? Peace, everyone. Laters.